Good morning, Yogi Clan. Welcome back to Safety Tip Tuesday. It is Tuesday morning, and we're going to talk about riding in the rain. A lot of people have some aversion to riding in the rain. You only have two wheels, right? It's dangerous. Actually, it's really not that bad. And after seeing a lot of riders riding in the rain this past weekend, coming in on Friday to the Orphan Run, it was just something that just kind of popped in my mind. Let's talk about riding in the rain for a minute. All right, welcome back. Riding in the rain. Dangers. What can you wear? What can protect you? What can help you out? First thing to think about riding in the rain is your tires. Make sure your tires have tread on them. If your tires are getting bald, it's probably not a good thing to be riding in the rain because you're going to lose some of your ability to stick to the pavement because your tires have the grooves in them, and those grooves are meant to channel that rainwater away so your rubber is hitting the asphalt and giving you the most protection possible. And when you're riding in the rain, remember, you're riding in the rain, so don't be quite as hot on the throttle as you would be on a dry road. But if you're on a wet road and you're controlling the throttle and your tires are in good condition, you really have nothing to fear riding in the rain. Just take it easy. But one of the big points to remember is the mustard line and the mayonnaise line, and then when you come up to like an intersection, if you're coming up to a right-hand turn road and there's an arrow that's in the road saying right-hand turn, any painted surfaces on the road in the rain will be very slippery. So you need to be very cautious of painted surfaces in the road. They turn into ice rinks. Also, those little crack seals that they put, that little black, I call them road snakes, the little black lines on the road where the DOT fills in cracks, those can be very slippery in the rain also. Fresh rain, if it hasn't rained for a while, maybe you live in an area where it's been 2-3 weeks before it's rained. As soon as that rain comes, the first 5-10 minutes, all that oil is going to float up to the surface. All the oils that cars drop can also make some potentially, especially in the center. And why, if you watch my lane video, I suggest you either be in the left tire track or the right tire track. Don't be in the center of the road because that's where all the cars are dripping oil. And if you're riding down the center of the road in the rain, it's going to be a little slippery. So knowing your road, the roads that you're on, and knowing your machine and your tire tread that you have and the response of your throttle, just take it easy and you'll be fine. What can you wear to help you in the elements? Obviously, when it's raining, I usually try to always wear a full face. I have spent many years in a half helmet. And let me tell you, it stings when you get a highway speed. It stings. A lot of people like to put a bandana up to cover their face, but I find that once that bandana gets wet, it gets kind of hard to breathe through. It's kind of like waterboarding. It gets really hard to breathe through that bandana when it gets soaking wet. So I would just prefer a full face helmet. Now you can go and you can buy rain gear, buy the jacket, buy the pants. You can get something cheap like Frog Togs, man. $25 for a jacket, $25-$30 for a pair of pants. They won't last. They're like, you buy them and you use them for the season. Yeah, you may be able to get 2 seasons out of them. Frog Tog pants, the things you gotta be very careful of is they melt just like that. So if you watch my other video about cleaning off pants, you'll see mine melted right to the side of the pipes, and it'll happen in a heartbeat. Like, you put your foot down, you're like, oh, jump. Oh, too late. It's gone. I had a pair of Harley. They're actually made out of PVC. It was $100 for a rain set from Harley. They have a liner on your right leg, so if you accidentally touch the exhaust, it won't melt, which is good. Downside to it is PVC. It is like this jacket, but it's got a inside liner that does not breathe, and that's what makes it waterproof. That kind of reminds me of wrestling practice in high school, where you'd put on the sweatsuits and you jump rope for half hour in order to suck weight so you can make weight for the wrestling match. Yeah, it's kind of like one of those. So after you're done riding and you take it off, so let's say you go ride for 2-3 hours and you're in that PVC rain suit and you take it off, you don't know if you're wet from the rain or wet from sweat, because you will be damp on the inside. It's more than likely it's sweat. And you gotta let that suit hang up in the garage for a day or two to dry out. So it's like, was it really worth it to put on rain gear? Yeah, I didn't get soaked like I would without it, but I still got wet because it's probably sweat. Even the best rain gear, water still intrudes. So if you're gonna be out there all day in the rain, you're still gonna get wet. Maybe better, maybe a little bit more comfortable. It may prolong the soakedness, but I don't care what you do, you're still gonna get damp. Now the best things to get are the neoprene line coats, but they're like 150, 200 bucks for the jacket and about the same for the pants. So if you're really gonna spend the money, you're gonna spend 400 bucks on a really good rain suit, which are really nice rain suits. They're just out of my price league. So I don't have one of those rain suits, I just have the cheap kind. And the cheap kind work. When I decided to buy a rain suit, it was on a trip to Washington, D.C. On the way to Washington, D.C., it's about an 8-hour ride to my buddy's house. About 6 of those hours, it rained. And some of those times, it rained so hard that 18-wheelers had to pull off the road because they couldn't see. And here I am just boop, putting along. And that 8-hour ride was probably more like a 12-hour ride by the time I got there. And it just rained so hard, it was so hard to see. And all I was wearing was a leather jacket and chaps over my clothes. And I got there, I was soaked. And that leather jacket was about 50 pounds, and those chaps were it just soaked up that rain like a sponge. And since they were relatively new chaps, it dyed my blue jeans black from the stain in the leather chaps. And it took, so I got to his house Friday night. Monday when I left to come home, they were still damp. They weren't soaking wet, but they were damp still. It took 3 days of trying to dry out over a kitchen chair, and didn't do it. So when I got back home from DC that year, I'm like, I'm going to go buy a rain suit. And I brought a rain suit, and that was in 2004, and that's the rain suit I still use. The pants, I've tossed the pants because they got, the PVC after a while gets dry, gets brittle, starts cracking, it starts leaking. So pants I threw away about 2 seasons ago and got those Frog Tog pants, which I just put a hole this big in the calf on. So really I don't have very much for rain gear anymore, and I'm kind of to the point where I just don't really care. If I get wet, I get wet. Sometimes on a summer day it's really refreshing, you know. In the winter it really stinks, but in the summer it's fine. Which brings up another point of visibility. So you're riding down the road, you're wearing glasses, you're wearing goggles, you're wearing a full face, and it starts fogging up and you can't see. 2 things you can do about that. If you're out and about and you can't do anything, you can't do trick number 2. The first trick is you're just going to take your glasses off and you're just going to put a bunch of spit in your tongue and you're going to lick your glasses. Old scuba trick, lick your glasses, smear your spit around, make sure they're covered with spit on your glasses, put them back on, you can see again. Now you're going to have spitty glasses that you're looking through, but it won't be fogged glasses. So you'll be able to see well enough to get to your destination and can clean your glasses. The better way to do that, like with full face helmets, what I do is I take the shield off the helmet. You take the shield off, 2 things you can use. 1, Head and Shoulders shampoo, or 2, shaving cream. Well, you can probably use any kind of shampoo, just make sure that the shampoo doesn't have any kind of grit in it. You take the shampoo, you squirt it on your visor, or shaving cream, like that Barbazol shaving cream, you squirt it on your visor and you wipe it all around. Schmutz it all up, get it all covered with it, and then let it sit and let it dry. Then when you come back and let it dry, have 2 microfiber cloths. 1 to wipe the excess material off after it's dry, and the second one then to buff it. Don't know why it works, don't know how it works, but Head and Shoulders shampoo and or shaving cream, now it won't give you a permanent fix to fogging, but for that road trip that you're planning and you know that this road trip's going to be wet, go ahead and do that before you go on the road trip. You know, it'll last a couple weeks, maybe a month or 2, and then you'll have to reapply it and do it again. So that is a huge help towards keeping your visor from fogging. So I know when my visor fogs, I have to crack it open just a little bit, just so we can get some air circulation in there to get the fog off. But if it's really humid outside because it's raining, you know, that fog is not really going to evaporate off your windscreen. So try some Head and Shoulders. try some Barbazol or some shaving cream and see if that helps from anti-fog. Honestly though, riding in the rain, no big deal. And if you're any kind of motorcycle rider, it's going to happen. You know, if you take your bike out at some point in time, you're going to get stuck in an afternoon shower, or you're going to be doing a planned road trip, and this planned road trip, oh dang it, it's supposed to rain that weekend. Suck it up, Buttercup. Sometimes riding in the rain makes some of the best stories and makes some of the most fun. So enjoy what the Lord gives you, whether it's a bright sunshiny day, a cloudy day, or a rainy day. Either or, 6 one, half dozen the other. You're out and you're riding, right? Still better than a day work. Yogi Clan. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, hit the notifications. Got some updates coming for the Orphan Run. We had an awesome weekend this past weekend. I am now culminating videos from friends so I can put it all together. It'll probably take me about a week or so to make a video about it, but I want to give you some updates. Let you know how everything turned out. It was awesome. I'll just say that. It was awesome. It was a great weekend, and I'm very excited about what we're going to be able to donate to Sacred Selection. So please hit the notifications button. Please hit the subscribe button so you can make sure you don't miss that video. It's going to be coming out here soon. All right, Yogi Clan. Take care. Have a wonderful week. Peace.